It's sometimes good to just go. Hello, everyone, and welcome. Thank you for tuning in to the Amanda Show, as Amy has called it. You are here with Amanda, and you're here with Laura today. We're going to talk a little bit about Laura's self-worth journey, which is absolutely incredible. I met her in Lisbon, I can't remember, 2 years ago or so, under a big, gigantic tree. And then we reunited in Portugal again for the Selfworth coaching program, which was a big shift, I think, for all of us. And I'm really excited for you to be here. You have an incredible story to share, one that I personally feel very related to. I listened to your story, and my mother went into a very similar journey at the same time, and so I'm truly inspired. So please share what for you was the moment where things started to change for you within your body, within your mind, within your soul, when you started to connect to, hey, self-worth.
Yeah. Well, it all started already quite some years ago. Well, 2, 3, 4 years ago, and the thing is that there were a lot of physical and psychological ailments that came up all of a sudden, kind of out of the blue, and I got weird things like thrombosis in one of my legs and really bad panic attacks. Anxiety attacks. So sometimes it was really difficult for me to be working or in any social circumstances, interactions. Then also really bad sleeping problems, and also the most recent one in 2018, a drastic weight loss. So all of these were like, I didn't know what they were, why they were there, where they came from. Yet I just went on. Like every day I tried to encourage myself to go on in this kind of very uncertain world that I was living, or my own life that I was living. And it's very interesting now seeing that I was actually also very unhappy on many levels of my life when all of that was playing out. I was in a job that was very, it wasn't meaningful for me. I didn't feel that I was able to bring out my true gifts, that I wasn't feeling inspired by the work, motivated by the work. It felt very repetitive and very kind of numbing in a way. And so I felt very much blocked. And I just didn't know how to get out. But so I just kept on going back, as you do when you have a rent to pay, right? And then also on my relationship front, it was quite difficult. Like to the outside world, it looked, I guess, quite a happy relationship, but inside, again, I didn't feel fulfilled and happy. So these two main circumstances in my life really created like a incoherence, internal incoherence, I would say. I was every day doing something or being with someone that I didn't actually feel like. I mean, in the core of myself, I could feel, I knew that I was kind of going against the stream. I was swimming against the stream, which caused a lot of stress, a lot of anxiety, took a lot of energy. But I just couldn't admit it to myself, let alone to other people. That's, this is not where I want to be today. And so fast forwarding, and we come to Christmas Day 2018, when finally, after all the examinations and so on, doctors couldn't find anything special. But then finally on that day, I get this kind of a horror message that I have a very aggressive type of breast cancer. And it was a huge blow. even more so because it was Christmas. And on that day, I was supposed to be flying back home to celebrate with my family. And the doctor said that really, I recommend you not to go because we need to start the further examinations as soon as possible to see that it hasn't spread, because if it's a really aggressive type of cancer, chances are that you already have metastasis in other places of your body. So then I had to call my dad, saying that don't come to pick me up from the airport, please. I have cancer. It was very difficult, very tough. So that's where it all started, let's say. And from there onwards, I got to know Selfworth. I actually read the book, Selfworth Safari by John Nyland, around the time when I got to know about my cancer, and then following the treatments. And I started to understand that it doesn't work like this. I cannot put other people's well-being or happiness or views or opinions or what I should do in front of what I actually feel like doing. And also I cannot accept that my mind is kind of driving me. Or I say it as my mind, it's my rational, right? It's driving me if that doesn't correspond with what I feel deep down inside in my soul. My true self be in agreement with what I'm doing. Like there has to be coherence, internal coherence. Every bit of me wants to be going that way if I'm going that way. Otherwise, I don't know. Most probably there were many more other reasons as well for me why all of these health issues came about. But it has been really clear to me ever since that this also played a big role, that I wasn't being true to myself, basically. So self-worth came into action there because I realized that I have to start listening to myself, putting myself more on the front.
Yes. Wow. What a journey, Laura.
Yes.
And now fast forward 2 years, look where you are now. Like amazing. Just before we hopped on this conversation, I also asked permission for Laura to share that this is her first time doing a video as well, right? If that's being recorded live, having a conversation. So would you have ever seen yourself do this 2 years ago?
No.
No?
Definitely not.
It's amazing. Thank you. Thank you for sharing this. And it's like I can feel it. It's like a heartfelt story. And it's making me emotional.
Yeah, I was also getting a bit emotional while remembering back.
So what for you, you say that the self-worth took action then 2 years ago. What from the book, what is the thing that really stood out that even now to this day is something that you're practicing continuously?
Yeah. Well, many things, but really this idea, like what self-worth is about, uh, versus self-esteem, where you more think what kind of image do you give to the outer world, and self-worth, and also very conditional self-love, but then with self-worth it's like unconditional, and you can just be in there. You can feel this love and respect towards yourself, whatever happens, and be your own loyal friend. You don't. It's very good if you don't put others always in front in the first place. For me, I have kind of, ever since I can remember, I thought somehow that I need to be very much of service and really take care of other people, even on the expense of taking care of myself. And this I have learned very well that that's not how it should be, because we really need to make sure that we are there for ourselves, whatever happens. Cannot think that that other people would be more important than that.
Definitely.
Yeah. So really finding my own way, listening more to myself, listening what is right for me and what resonates with me, and then learning to say no also to what ain't so, isn't so. Very important.
And is that something as well that you've brought into your work area? You mentioned before that you didn't feel very fulfilled at work and the relationship as well. Would you be able to share a bit more of how your connection to that unconditional friend has supported your relationship to work and relationship to others, whether it's romantic, friendship?
Well, I have to say firstly that I actually left the job, but then I went back to the same place actually. But this time, the experience is totally different. I am not all the time just okay, anything goes, but I am like putting my limits as well. I am respecting myself, listening to myself, what is okay and what is not. That, first of all, that one. Secondly, I have found something that really gives me joy, and I am actually putting up my own own business to accompany other women, or perhaps not women, who might be going through difficult moments in their lives, whether it being illnesses or other difficult moments, because I understand that my experience has something to give. I think has something to give.
Definitely, yes.
to other people, and it's really something that is yearning to come out from my soul, and not just from the from the mind, and what we should be doing in order to earn money, but something that I'm actually so inspired to do, which is very important. And then finally, regarding relationships, well, more or less the same. Saying no, we're saying when it's enough. I actually had the courage to walk away from the relationship that was totally okay and nobody's fault, but it just wasn't resonating with me. And get my own place and like settle down and just be by myself, get to know myself. This has been really priceless because I have been able to look deeper and see what it is actually that I need, that I want, because that's now definitely the most important for me at this moment of my life, because I know that also once that is clearer, I'm more able to be more fulfilled in any relationship, and I'm able to be truer to myself and to others as well. I don't need to necessarily please anymore or avoid or be anything else that my true self. So this has been a gift in a way, even though it's funny to say that an illness, a serious illness, could be a gift, but I think it's one of the ways. It might be useful if you are going through something serious, trying to see the gift in it, even though it might be.
I was actually just going to ask, what is something that you would give anyone advice or tip for something similar, if they're in a similar situation that you were in and you just did. So, which is one way of looking at it. Often we find ourselves going over the why and what did I do wrong, and that thought process. And often it's seeing the opportunity and the gift in the situation of what is it bringing me? What can I work with?
But that's the thing. I mean, so often when we are ill, we are like thinking that, okay, we are not where we should be or would want to be, or, this is wrong. And then because that's wrong, we start to kind of fight against, we resist the illness. But what if, like you said, what if we would embrace it, and it would become from, confrontation, it would become into an embrace, and, okay, I love you, and what are you here to show me as well? I can learn from this. I am sure that I can. So this kind of mindset, also the idea that if we see life as a flow of experiences, and if we try to kind of detach, if we whether we see these experiences as positive or negative, but kind of neutral, then I think that was also something that helped for me, because I was like, okay, this is just an experience. Probably something, it's here to show me something, for me to work on something deeper. It's wonderful, it's a gift, but also it doesn't have to carry like any value, either positive or negative. It can also try to be seen very from a neutral viewpoint. And I'm not saying that I was able to do this every day, right? To have this mindset. Totally not. I'm not expecting anybody can, because there are very difficult days. But generally, just to be in the knowing and in the certainty that there's something bigger behind all of this, and be in the kind of the vibration of gratitude towards it. We'll be fine. Well, I cannot guarantee it will be fine, but it can be.
It can be.
There's more chances that it will be, because if we are able to stay in higher vibration, we are also able to heal better and faster. I think that was partly also what happened with me.
Yeah, speaking from your own experience, right? Yeah,
totally.
Wow, thank you, Laura, and gratitude to you. Thank you for sharing your journey. Is there anything else that you feel that wishes to come out and be shared in this moment right now? Or
I maybe just love to say a word about how precious mutual encouragement is. Also, because my the title of my business is Encourage You, which just means that we are so able to be even more in that higher vibration if we are remembering to encourage ourselves internally, and our closest people, dearest people externally. If we are able to kind of stay in that loving loving vibration that has so much hope, so much joy, encouragement. I kind of love that word. So, and especially during these difficult times that we are on, why not just be as encouraging as we can towards everybody? That's what I wanted to share.
oh, beautiful. Thank you. Which leaves me with, I encourage you, viewers, listeners, to reach out to Laura if there's anyone that feels resonates with the story and wants to learn more and get deeper in touch with their inner being, their inner self, and their self-worth. Her details will be beneath this video, and you can reach out to her. I thank you again, Laura, for joining,
Samantha.
and see you next time. Bye.
See you. Bye.